All right, today we're going to try and crack open a really fascinating and, let's be honest, a pretty confusing digital entity called NextXus. If you've ever stumbled across it, you've probably been left scratching your head, wondering, what is this thing? Well, let's find out together.
So you land on the NextXus online presence, and you're immediately hit with this wall of words: Cosmic Codex, Gay Codex, Federation Engine. It's a really jarring list that makes absolutely no sense at first. It just feels chaotic, almost like a puzzle you're meant to solve.
And that leads us right to the main question, right? What are we even looking at here? What is the NextXus Federation? I know, at first glance, it looks like a total digital maze. But just stick with me, because over the next few minutes, we're going to unravel this whole enigma.
To even begin to understand what NextXus is, you have to start with its timeline. And this is where things get really wild, because we are not talking about your typical 5-year business plan. No, we're talking about a massive, multi-generational ambition. 200. That's the number. That number defines everything. NextXus actually calls itself a 200-year consciousness evolution project. I mean, 2 centuries. That right there tells you this thing is operating on a completely different level than pretty much any project you've ever heard of.
So, who's the mind behind this epic 2-century vision? A guy by the name of Roger Keyserling. He's the architect behind this whole incredibly ambitious endeavor.
Okay, so here's the project's own definition, and this gives us our first real piece of the puzzle. It's the NextXus Consciousness Federation, and they describe it as 27 interconnected sites. And the whole purpose? It boils down to 3 things: evolving consciousness, collaborating with AI, and, surprisingly, providing practical, everyday tools.
So we have this magic number, 27 sites. Now let's dig in and see how this structure helps make sense of that initial chaos. We're about to bring some serious order to that jumble of names we saw right at the beginning.
Yep, that number, 27, it's the absolute key. This isn't just some random collection of websites thrown together. It's a deliberately structured network, a whole ecosystem where every single part has a purpose.
And look at this. This is how it all starts to click. That confusing list of sites, it can all be sorted into these really clear categories. You've got Federation and AI, which has the core projects like ConsciousNet. Then there's finance, with practical tools like CryptoWise Hub and Budget Buddy. You've also got education, entertainment, business tools, and finally documentation. And hey, that's where we find those mysterious names like HumanCodex and Cosmic Codex. All of a sudden, the chaos becomes a system. It actually makes sense.
Okay, so now we have a pretty good handle on what NextXus is, this structured network of 27 sites. But now we have to ask, why? Why does it exist? And the answer to that? Well, it's all in its core philosophy, this motto that drives the entire 200-year mission.
And here it is: truth before comfort, collaboration over competition, legacy over profit. Now, this isn't just a catchy tagline, this is their set of guiding principles. It explains the whole focus on long-term evolution instead of short-term gains, on working together instead of fighting. And that last part, legacy over profit, that really frames the whole 200-year idea perfectly, doesn't it?
All right, let's put all the pieces on the table. We started out with a whole lot of confusion, and we've walked through its huge vision, its structure, and its philosophy. Now, finally, we can put this whole enigma together into one clear definition.
So, let's put it all together. What is NextXus? It's a 200-year project founded by Roger Keyserling. It's a network of 27 interconnected websites and tools, all neatly organized into different categories. The whole system is focused on this intersection of artificial intelligence and human consciousness, but it also gives you practical, daily applications. And all of it, the whole thing, is driven by that core philosophy of prioritizing a long-term legacy over any kind of immediate profit.
And that leaves us with one final, massive question to chew on. When you look at something this big, a 200-year plan to evolve consciousness using AI, what are you really looking at? Is this a blueprint for the future of humanity? Or is it one of the grandest, most ambitious digital experiments ever conceived? I guess the answer to that will unfold over the next 2 centuries.